And good morning, everyone. Good morning, Callum.
Hello. How are
No
you?
one is hiding today. No one is
No,
hiding today.
It's been 3 weeks since we've been together doing an umbraCoffee episode. Of course, I was traveling a few weeks ago, and Marcin last week you were doing a workshop, I think. And
Yes, that was the workshop. A couple weeks back, I had something else, the wedding. Yeah, there were a couple.
I had the pleasure
shuffles.
last week of trying to work out with Warren where all the buttons are on this tool we use, because and a little behind the scenes bit of info for you. I started playing the intro last week, but the broadcast didn't go live. So we sat there for like 20 seconds watching the intro, and nothing happened. We had to do it all over again. So yeah.
And my all alone episode from 2 weeks back,
which did very well. Like I said last week, we had to get more likes than you to prove that umbraCoffee could continue as more than one person.
So right now, I assume it will be a combination of likes from both episodes, and yeah, we are definitely better in duet here. So yeah, it's good to be back, and it's good to be normally on normal live schedule with umbraCoffee. How are you, Callum? I'm good. I'm busy as usual. That's our standard intro here.
Yeah, exactly. I need to get that on a T-shirt now, right? Like just yeah.
You know, I have this other channel on YouTube that still awaits time for being addressed. It's called The Busy Programmer. It has all the branding done, etc. So maybe this is the way.
Maybe that in itself, Marcin, is kind of the point. The busy programmer that you've been too busy to actually upload anything to.
This is also my social media activity recently. You know, if you're really busy, you don't have time to do this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, we are here. We are on umbraCoffee episode 225. Woo, time flies, and yeah, let's jump to Umbraco news, because it might not be too heavy week of the news, because maybe people are busy as well. Let us know in the comments.
I think it's a public holiday in Denmark today, I think.
Yes, I heard something.
Because
yeah, that's true.
This is the Friday that would be before Code Garden some years, and so there was always that. There was always a public holiday just before Code Garden.
Okay, yeah. So we're still counting down. We still have plenty of time to book our trips. Good reminder. But yeah, there was a product update shared this week by Rune, as usual, and we can start from here because there are some couple great announcements in it. We've been talking about a couple of them. We had some demos and some walkthroughs through the major new releases. And we can start from Umbraco 9.5, which is officially out now. So it's the minor version that has a lot of great improvements and features. And as usual, the Umbraco team made an unboxing video that highlights it also. You don't even need to install and play around. You can watch amazing team from Umbraco to catch up on what is there and what is in this release. I have an update.
A lot of exciting things. It's a lot of things that people have been wanting for years and years and years, like proper 2FA support. We discussed a while ago that Off-Road Code made that for 7.7 and had a package that worked with all these authenticator tools, and it wasn't quite there. And now it's like a proper first-class citizen. It works really nicely. At the London meetup last night, Joe Glombeck showed us a little example of it working, which was cool. And the code is all on the docs, so you can easily take that. And the thing he pointed out was, well, someone could make a package out of this, but actually they've already written the code for you. It's on the docs, so someone just needs to package it up. And I would love to see HQ release like a plugin you could just install, and it kind of sets up Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator as an authentication form there. But also moving and copying member and dictionary items, like that has been something that's been so painful for so long. I'm so glad to see this finally in there.
So small thing, right? But there's such a big difference.
Yeah. It's cool that we get to this point where there's not necessarily, I'm not saying there isn't a big list of things that we want in core or want core to do, but when we can address some of these things that have just been bugging us for a long time, like that's a really
I have another feeling, because I think we sometimes are getting used to not having specific options, and then we are not bothered by not having them, but when we have them we see, whoa, damn, how a big difference
how
it
was
is
life
now.
without this.
And because I know maybe it's a programmer's approach is we can hack everything, we can try to break it, we can do some workarounds, we can spend 60 hours of doing something what would take 5 minutes if we would know what to do. That's us. But then it's as you said, it's such small things that are bundled in the core right now. Even infinited editing. Last week I had a pleasure to take a look on the very old Umbraco solution, and I reminded myself how I open multiple tabs to do the work in Umbraco solution.
Yeah.
And now we don't need to. So it's good to see this kind of.
You're so right that the V8 and beyond back office is so polished and feels so clean compared to older versions of Umbraco that it's very jarring going back, and you take it all for granted, don't you?
Yeah, we can just be envy for people who are just starting with Umbraco now, because they don't see this improvement, but they see already a good and user and editors and developers experience behind the scenes. It's just awesome. And it's coming also with other products. Same with for example, Umbraco Forms, that is constantly evolving. Same as Umbraco Deploy. But this week, on May 10th, there was a new patch release for Umbraco Forms. And it has been constantly improved and updated since Andy took over the role of maintaining it actively. And it's good to see that, because there's a lot of solutions relying on Forms heavily, and even more right now, seeing the constant growth of the package itself. But the topic which we can probably talk about as well is Umbraco 10, because we've been counting down already to Umbraco 10. There was RC flying in behind the scenes, and right now it's officially released. And there was an Umbraco collab episode, right?
From last week, where they got it all up and running, and Paul migrated some packages, and even on umbraCoffee last week, we got it running on my Mac without, it took minutes. Really, it took 2 minutes to be up and running. Last night's Umbraco London meetup, we had Nikolai from the core team who showed off the upgrade process. So he took a V9 site running locally and upgraded that to V10 within a couple of clicks. It was very straightforward. And also the install was super fast, doing a fresh install as well. So it seems great. It seems really, really great.
Interesting was the thread started by Dave on Twitter about updating Umbraco. Where are the times where we struggled with updating Umbraco? we miss it. We will lose our jobs if it will go so smooth. But these times are here, and we've been discussing it for a long time. It's like we can just be safe right now, safer for sure about upgrading from between the versions, and there's less and less reasons why not to upgrade.
We were saying last night that there is less breaking changes in this major release, where we've had a whole framework bump and everything, than we were getting in most V7 minor releases. Like, there is it's so well controlled now that it's upgrading doesn't really matter. I think I saw someone on Dave's thread saying, when do we get to the point where it's like WordPress and it just auto updates itself overnight? Come back in the morning and the site's broken. But it is getting almost that simple, isn't it? That the sites, the upgrades are so straightforward. I'm talking with clients as well about. A client actually asked me the other day, should we be upgrading Umbraco regularly? And I told them, well, we do. We upgrade it for you already. Don't worry. But of course, within limits, like within 8 or within 9, we're not going to be bumping them beyond that typically. No. But actually, if we keep on top of those upgrades, they become far smaller, far easier. It becomes like a day of extra effort, maybe every couple of months, to just get them on the latest platform. And we're staying up to date. So it's a huge change. huge change for everyone.
I think it can relate also to what Arnold said, that the people don't understand the struggles with the old Umbraco, and same with the upgrades. If we've been having struggles with upgrading Umbraco in between the specific versions back in the days, right now we might have less of these, and then the whole journey is changing, and also clients, teams are often asking, will upgrading to 10 will be that painful as the previous discussions of upgrading from 7 to 8, from 8 to 9, etc. We said, no worries right now. So fingers crossed that it will be like that, and all of these demos and efforts placed into the constant upgrades instead of major revamps and reverts will play, and we will be all happy and constantly upgrading.
Another really exciting thing here is it's until about now, Umbraco has always been slightly behind the curve, or in many places quite far behind the curve. Of course, when Umbraco 8 came about, we were talking about .NET Core, but .NET Core had been around a while and was still the kind of the done thing in the .NET community. We're finally at a point where with V10, we're on the latest .NET framework version. We're on proper, more or less, cross-platform running, like with SQLite support. We've got loads of information now out there about containers and all of the things that the .NET community have been doing for years and years, but Umbraco's kind of caught up. And so if we then take that as the baseline, where do we go from there is really exciting, because we can start to push the limits. We can start to do new things. We can have the new language features. You can update. I know that I've said this before, that a lot of people regularly update to the previews of .NET, .NET 7 that's coming out later this year, and they run it even in production and regularly share benchmarks of, oh, look, I did a simple update of the framework and now my pages load in half the time. And those are really cool things that are being unlocked now, rather than necessarily from upgrading Umbraco, but just all the underlying stuff as well is so great. So yeah, it's a very exciting moment for Umbraco. Next few years are going to be very interesting.
Yeah. And this is what is probably called the cutting edge technology, and all the stuff like we've been all missing for a while, because we were behind, and now we are on it. Same with other products, and I think again we can mention the ecosystem around Umbraco, and dive into the next topics from our list is Umbraco Cloud, that also has received a lot of love, a lot of upgrades, and a lot of new features recently, and is constantly evolving. And there is also a blog post and the information about the release notes about the recent upgrade from April 25th.
We've mentioned this before, but many people won't realize they share every 2 weeks release notes for the cloud portal and the cloud platform, and they share those publicly. They're on our. You can go have a look at what's changed, and there's a surprising amount of stuff changing. I used cloud for the first time in a little while the other day, and the options drop down against the project has got so big. Like, there's so many things you can configure there that it had me thinking, oh, they're going to have to kind of redesign that at some point, because there's just so much there. And looking at the roadmap, there's even more stuff coming. There's things like CDN controls directly within the portal, and more granular access. You can finally install certificates locally in your application if you need to be able to access them from a file-based point of view, which solves a huge problem that we had with Key Vault, in that you needed keys to connect to Key Vault if you couldn't install a certificate on the server, but you can. Like, it's getting really, really good. It's kind of doing everything we want it to do as a platform. So very exciting, very, very exciting.
Yeah. We are losing a lot of arguments against the using platform, as we mentioned multiple times. And even this week, I was invited to project from one of the clients to see what's going on in that, and I joined the project on cloud, cloned it, tried to restore the content with some small journeys in between. But generally, the onboarding process to get started with the project was extremely easy. And that's kind of what we are looking at. It's from the management perspective of the projects, maybe inheritance of the project, and just maintaining it on the team's level. It's just where it should be. And again, maybe more believe in ourselves, in our community, in our product. We remember what we talked about with Jaron from Sidecore community. many products like this wants to be even in this position, and they're far away behind. Even so, we definitely can squeeze what we have already there and see where it can help us and our products and our clients. But yeah, I'm also happy with constant upgrades there, and I definitely plan to play around more with Umbraco Cloud in the nearest future. So cloud and forms and cloud improvements in the roadmap. That's what we also wanted to mention, because it's not the end of the updates, right? It's not the end. And the roadmap is publicly available on umbraco.com/product/roadmap. And
here's something really funny. Scroll right to the bottom of this roadmap. For the first time ever, the Umbraco roadmap is so big that the line on the left-hand side is too short for the actual roadmap. There's also someone needs to give this a spell check, because
when I was scrolling, it was so much, and usually it was 2-3 items on every single element, and now it's growing, and it needs to be tweaked. We can report officially umbraCoffee reported bug now. So
there's so many exciting things on this roadmap, though. Better 2FA support for a lot of the cloud products, better support for things like secret management and cloud. That's awesome. Variant permissions coming in the core a bit later. They are, I don't know if it's on here. We've got it as a point to talk about, but there's some work being done on the grid. There's some work being done on, of course, the new back office as well. Like there's a lot of very, very exciting things going on in here.
Zapier integration.
I wonder if at some point we're going to need like a DXP roadmap, a hardcore road. Maybe they're all like separate things, because this is getting pretty big.
Or filters here on the page to see what is related with which path of the product evolution. But generally it looks pretty packed and really cool. So and we know Umbraco team is devoted to deliver a lot of things from this roadmaps in the upcoming future. So looks really promising. And maybe we can ask all of these questions in the next month, because there is a conference, of course, upcoming, and I will be trying to close my Chrome tabs, because I'm getting out of sync from what I hear. So we can talk about Code Garden and the program out there, right? Because it was fully released this week as well.
Yeah, we were teased last week, where Warren showed us a little hack where we could find out what time people were speaking based on the speakers list. But yes, we now have a full announced schedule, including for the Tuesday, the social events, and they've highlighted on here where the events, which talks are available for free for anyone to watch if you've just signed up. But I'm not sure why you'd want to miss any of the others. There's so much great looking content there. We've got a packed first day, a packed second day. There's still a few details to be announced around the Friday workshops, etc. I think details are coming soon. I'm not going to promise anything, Arnold.
Yes,
but there's a lot of great looking sessions in there. It's going to be very cool. Oh, and umbraCoffee, of course, umbraCoffee. We've got umbraCoffee all 3 days and properly.
And from I wanted to say that from this least interesting sessions, there will be umbraCoffee as well. and of course, for all of those who didn't attend it in the past, it was one of the most exciting moments for us as a kind of host of umbraCoffee, because we love people and we love spending time together. So if you would be around, don't hesitate to join the stage. We will be always welcoming the guests and people who will share their feedback about the event and everything what was shared and learned across the event. The rest is fully packed. And was it Pulse Hill who made an extension to the browser last year to highlight favorites talks from the program?
So you could filter the program. Yeah, that was the case, wasn't it?
I need it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Microsoft events all have that sort of thing as well. It's a very good way of building up a schedule there.
I remember the days when I was printing the schedule and I was having my mini cards with myself on Code Garden and with highlighted session to not miss out anything. So it's the same here. And as you've mentioned, it's fully packed event that we need to definitely decide on what we can watch and what we need to rewatch later on. And to remind, there are.
Go on.
Go. I wanted to just mention that still there is an option to join virtually, join physically in real life, and tickets are constantly on sale. So I believe that there is still a need to remind us all that the event is happening. Nothing has changed, and we can all plan it because there is still plenty of time, a month exactly from now.
Yes, definitely a month. Wow, it's come
What
around
do you
so
want
quickly.
to mention, Callum?
I was going to say that there's still some details being announced here. Like there's talks that we don't yet have titles for from people like from Pear and Scott Hanselman. You know, the important people we want to watch. But it's going to be a very nice looking event. I was going to also, you know how I like speculating and causing rumors, and maybe we'll get another axe sent to us in the post if I do this, but we're going to do it anyway.
And leaks.
This is what I said. It's not a leak. It's not a leak. But what I was going to try and analyze some things on the schedule here, which I know they're trying as much as possible to get people speaking there in person. Now, pay extra attention to the times that certain people are speaking because, for example, Mads Torgensen, which is going to be a very interesting talk about C#, is at like 11 a.m. He's based on the west coast of the US. There's no way he's getting up at 4 in the morning to do that talk. So that's really exciting. He'll, I guess, be there in person. Then there's, of course, the two Scots doing their talks. We've got Scott Hunter, who is kind of late afternoon, which is early very early for him. And Scott Hanselman's also late on the Thursday as well. So I guess it would be very lovely to see them in person, but we're yet to see that and yet to have that confirmed. So just speculating. But I think Mads will be there in person for sure. It sounds like it is. And it's a free trip to Denmark, whereas like half his family are based. So yeah, it makes sense.
Exactly.
Exciting.
And also we know how some of these Microsoft people were determined to visit this event back in the days, in the previous years, because Scott Hanselman even mentioned multiple times on Twitter that it was very high on his list to be there. So yeah, I think it will be really nice
Arnold
to
tells
see
me
anyone.
I'm spreading rumors and that I'm overthinking this. So maybe I'm overthinking this.
Maybe.
Yeah, exciting. It's a lot to get excited about. There's a lot of great talks lined up. And I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic event. So
and we like rumors. That's the fact. We like rumors.
Yeah,
we like
there's not been
speculation.
that many CG rumors this year, has there?
There's
not been many.
And as Arnold, you're watching, let's spread some of these because and again 10 lies on what was the game? 2 truths, 1 lie, something like that. There might be some rumors, and we'll definitely help spreading them out. But yeah, we are counting down a month to go to the event, and yeah, looking forward to it. And if you haven't seen and followed that this is happening, make sure to check out. And of course, as usual, we'll mention all the links that we discussed in the video and in the stream down below the video. And you need to click like to unblock them. So yeah, that's how it works. The next on our list is
Carl's teasing me with donuts in the chat.
Paul Seal, the next on our list, who was already mentioned, released the Umbraco packages scriptwriter, and that's something what looks really interesting. And it was also populated on one of the sessions that Paul shared publicly, and yeah, it's something what was very well received from the community perspective. And now we can see and bundle the packages. And from what I saw, Paul also described some technicalities behind the scenes, how it's done, how it's easy to accomplish the same stuff. So maybe more interesting things will follow.
He's querying the Our Umbraco package feed to get this list of packages, and then basically pulling them out into a one-click install. Just run this command. You've got an Umbraco site bootstrapped. It's got your user there. You're ready to go, which is really powerful. And it even shares it it adds them to the query string, so you can go back and time and time again go back and keep running those. He was on the London meetup last night, and we talked about this, saying how great it was. And I said it would be lovely to see this in the back office, because the package experience there at the minute in V9 tells you, here's the command you need to run in Visual Studio to install this, but you can't install the package directly. So it's like, okay, well then maybe let me chain them and select multiple to install. The other thing the other place where this would be great would be the installer. Actually, when you're installing, if there was a way that we could have some kind of UI there, maybe it would have to be a pre-populated list of packages. But I did a Script article a good 2 years ago now where I said discoverability for packages is really important, and I'd love to see an installer experience where you're kind of asked, what are you trying to build here? A website? Well, you may need some SEO things. Here's some SEO packages. You may need, a navigation builder, for example, or you're doing e-commerce. Here's some e-commerce options. And showing all of that to you in the installer would be really cool. And whether that just generates a chain of commands for you to run, or it's going to pre-install them for you, I don't know. But I love this idea. I really love this idea.
And again, it's very helpful for everyone who are transitioning to the new Umbraco ecosystem. Their unfamiliar has changed, and we've also noted that Paul complimented the David Brendel and his Umbraco project wizard back in the days, because it is a huge transition in between of the two worlds, and how it was done, how it can be done right now. A huge room for improvements in general, shortcuts for us all to maintain packages and solutions better. Maybe also some kind of automated processes to use this kind of commands and set of information. I see a lot of potential shortcuts for setting up projects like this, for example, or generating projects based on the selected packages, for example. A lot of possibilities here. And Paul just mentioned that I need to click bottom right to generate script. I did it. I did it. I knew that. I thought that maybe it might be a Vue.js on Angular to rebuild it automatically in the browser. Why not to? That would be cool. That would be cool. I tend to not click to reload my browser because I'm frozen then for a couple of seconds, and I try to avoid it. But this package, scriptwriter and project wizard, is something what is really, really, really cool. And here we can also see this project from David. So check it out and see and choose the better for yourself. It's still loading. What's the list?
Corne in the chat saying about having Clippy in the back office, which would be an awesome hack if someone wants to do that. But a Clippy that says, "Hey, you should install this package. Looks like you're trying to do this."
AI-driven Clippy that will see the gaps and fulfill the potential needs of us as a developers and maintainers. Maybe an idea for a package and package competition. I'm checking our list, and still my browser is frozen. The next topic on our list was the grid.
It wouldn't be a Friday, Marcin, if your camera and your internet connection and everything gave up, would it? It's not Friday.
Fortunately, I'm moving from this house soon, but I believe and I hope that it will be better. I need to switch my machine as well, but it's just become a tradition, and it won't be normal if it won't be like that. So, the grid. The grid is another topic, and Niels from Umbraco HQ started and very heavy in content already discussion about what would you consider essential for a grid layout editor in a CMS, and a lot of interesting ideas already shared by Mark, Jason, and a couple other community team members. I would love to see more inputs from people using maybe other CMSs as well. It's like I didn't play with the grid layout editors in many of the CMSs. Usually it was row-based approach, which is already a block list editor kind of stuff. So I don't know. I was blind, and
there were so many different opinions shared in this that I think, as people have pointed out, highlights the exact problem. everyone has a completely different definition of the grid. We've got all the way from those sort of row-based, more or less stacked content type experiences that people have built, and it's not really a grid. And I know this was some of the conversations we had when building the block list as well. So there's that. Then there's the kind of in-betweeny grid, which is where you just want structured blocks, so columns and layout. And then there's the whole other end where you want like proper WYSIWYG, Squarespace-esque drag and drop, and I've built my page type thing. And they're so different. And Umbraco is going to have to choose one, I think, aren't they, to make this work? But yeah, so many opinions there. And I know Lee and Matt were talking on Twitter about Mortar, which was again an inspiration that we'd talked about when trying to architect the block list. That sort of experience where you can have kind of flexible cells and rows would be really, really cool. There's responsivity, which is just something that the grid or very few grids have ever managed to do well. And a few people, as Stefan shared, that whilst WordPress is a complete bin fire, there is a couple of good examples in WordPress of where they've done some different experiences. And it would be interesting to look beyond the Umbraco ecosystem just to see what other people are doing and how we can take some inspiration from that.
Yeah, indeed, and that's also something what I want to kind of do myself. It's like bringing some more voices from people who are not maybe used to using the grids from Umbraco already. It's more about maybe some ideas and even crazy ideas. And I believe Niels and the rest of the team will just gather them, proceed them, and maybe even vote internally or externally on what is the real problem to be solved first. Because again, there's so many opportunities and so many ways of solving the same problems. And there's no best way. That's the truth amongst whatever we do. But yeah, I saw a lot of interesting, inspirational approaches, and it would be good. Maybe it's also a note for us all here watching today. Ask someone who might not be that familiar with the grid editor already, and let them dream about the perfect editor's experience, because that will definitely help the team, and I believe that Niels will be grateful for this kind of input to this Twitter discussion.
And there's going to be more of those chats at Code Garden for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
And it's funny because I know that a prototype of this was built over 2 years ago, basically to prove that the block list data structure that had been created and imagined would work for this sort of scenario. So this has been a long time coming, a long time being dreamt about as well. So yeah, I look forward to those chats.
Yeah. And definitely another topic on our list can help with bringing it to the higher level as well, because Umbraco announced the new back-office community team that was collected and built recently. And the team has a couple of well-known community members, starting from Ken Jacobson, Laura, Matt, Blake, and Lee Kelleher. So yeah, it's kind of and mode here to fulfill the full team, and yeah, right now we can just see what will pop out from the ideas of these great members of the team, and I'm sure again on the Code Garden there will be a lot of output from the teams itself, as usually it was done. Maybe even during the keynote initially to just see what teams come up with in the recent times. And Jacob here is the team steward to keep an eye on everything else like that. But as we always mention it as well, it's not the team only who works on the specific area of the system. Everyone has voice. But right now, as team has been formed, they are definitely focused on taking it to the higher level and doing more around this.
There is a meet the team session at Code Garden where they will, I guess, also be there, and it's a good chance to have a chat with them, get to know them, and they're just ambassadors for the cause, right, rather than necessarily the doers. And it's going to be an exciting time in the next year or so with the projects progressing on the new back office. These people are going to be very involved in that, so going to be playing an important part. I think.
And I just noticed that there's the dedicated aliases for the teams here, and everyone can reach out. So yeah, that's good. Cool. Couple other announcements from this week. Umbraco Lab session, taking Umbraco 9 and starting with it from scratch. And I saw the team, thanks to the YouTube rest stream, We can all watch the version of stored on the web, and you can watch it too. The link will be in the description. So if you want to start from scratch with Umbraco V9, Seb and the rest of the Discord gang were sharing how to do it and how to make it done. And of course, my browser is still spinning, so you won't be able to see it on my browser. Open your own one.
Yeah, the link will be down below.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling that someone is crazy out here because it's not normal, and just only during the umbraCoffee. So maybe it's even scheduled for the specific time of the week. I don't know. But yeah, jumping to another topic and speaking about Mode, I hope I pronounced this name correctly because she became a new profile in May in 2022. And she's a new member of Umbraco backoffice community member, originally from Belgium and working from Umbraco since 2018. So it's good to know. Another great team member from community member from around the globe. And as usually, there's a huge blog post highlighting the involvement and the journeys and the personality and tips. What is the really interesting for everyone who wants to maybe become a U profile in the next upcoming months. So yeah, that's a blog post from Umbraco. And last but not least, Callum, maybe something from closer to your heart recently in the .NET ecosystem.
I added this in Microsoft because we've not spoken about it too much, and it's that Microsoft Build is back. It's virtual. It's free to attend. You can sign up now. There'll be a link below, but it's 2 days of virtual packed .NET announcements, Azure stuff, even IT Pro things like you can learn what's going on with Windows. Like there's going to be a hell of a lot of content there. So yeah, go sign up to that. Go watch. It's in 2 weeks' time. So I think it's actually a week on Tuesday. It's a week on Tuesday. It's not long to go at all.
Oh, really close. I really love after the build the whole summaries of the announcements made, and the same as Code Garden usually was for Umbraco to pack up as many interesting things and features to be announced amongst the community. Microsoft is doing the same, and there are some even PDF documents highlighting all of the announcements made during the builds. So I expect these the most, and even if people don't want to watch or won't be able to watch the streams, there will be a lot of interesting information for us all, affecting us all as well. Because if we like it or not, we are heavily dependent from the ecosystem. So if the ecosystem will grow, we will also grow too. So yeah, looking forward to some announcements from there. And that's all from our list, Callum. That's all from today. Not that small list. As we thought
every time we say this, there's nothing to talk about, and then we talk for ages. There's a good amount of stuff.
And we can talk for another couple hours. I'm sure if we tackle on every kind of discussion. But yeah, let us know if we missed anything. Share your work and whatever you are doing interesting from your perspective. Maybe something else to remind everyone. On Monday, there is a deadline, Monday or Sunday. Deadline for Umbraco Awards submissions.
Sunday, and there's no time that's been given. So is it midnight? Is it, I don't know. So maybe the deadline's actually tomorrow.
Maybe. So just to remind everyone to submit, and looking forward to some awards. And we'll be here on another Friday to count down to Code Garden and to sum up whatever else happened in the meantime. So keep us busy and subscribe, share, and do everything what other fancy YouTubers are doing. I don't know where we are in the road for 1,000 subscribers.
I don't know if we're going to make it, Marcin. I like to be optimistic, but let's see. We've got 747 subscribers, so we need 253 more people to subscribe. What was it we'd said? What was the? I don't know if we promised anything, did we? No.
So who knows? But maybe we'll just walk out through the Code Garden venue and ask people to click this red button. That might work out. That might work out. But then, if you are not seeing the gray button when it's red on your end, please click it. You won't regret. You will be notified about every stream that we do, and it will help us grow on YouTube. So yeah, thanks for being with us today. Have a great afternoon and the weekend and the day off if you are in Denmark now. So yeah, see you on the next Friday, everyone.
Mm.
Cheers.
See ya.